These 7 dangerous myths which I'm about to go over are destroying any potential possibility of even scaling your e-commerce brand to the next level. So make sure to watch this video until the end because the last myth might just be the one you are currently applying. But with that, myth number 1, and that is scale comes only from budget and bids. Now, there's various different ways that you could be using to scale, which I actually recommend more than even just increasing budget and bids. Ways such as by adding more products similar to bestsellers, or maybe improving your average order value by adding bundles or by offering more products together. I know it's not really the easiest way to go about it because just increasing your budgets, that's a very easy thing to do. However, take this out of your mind, take this out of your system because this is a myth. The only way to scale your brand is not just by budgets or bids. But myth number 2 is there's a market share for every brand out there. Now, if there's competitors within a specific niche, that means something is working for them, and as a result, it will also work for you. However, when that market share, when one specific competitor starts to dominate that market, that's when problems start to arise. I was working with an e-commerce brand which was in the fashion niche. For the longest time ever, we were able to successfully scale this brand with Google Ads. There was no issues going on. All of a sudden, this one competitor came into the market. This was one of the biggest competitors operating out of China. This came into the market, completely took over the market share simply because it was selling products for an extremely cheap price. I mean, the t-shirt or a shirt that the brand we were working with, which would sell for $15, $20, that brand came in and started selling that same exact thing for $5, $3. It created a very big disruption in our ad strategies, in the results we were getting, not just on Google, but also on Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. Things started to take a dive downward. This brings me to myth number 3, which is external tracking softwares are enough to track data. And I'm referring to softwares like Hyros or Triple Whale. Even though that these softwares might be a bit more accurate than what you see on your dashboard, keep in mind this is a myth because external softwares are not enough for your ad platforms. Just because you see a higher number or a different number on Hyros or Triple Whale, that does not mean that your campaigns are performing at that exact level. The discrepancy here between the data causes your Google Ads dashboard or Facebook Ads dashboard to not really track proper data, and the algorithm is then not able to use that data to become smarter. If you are using external softwares, make sure you have installed conversion tracking properly. This is one of the most common issues I see when I'm auditing brands under my Google Ads agency or marketing. But with that, myth number 4, which is the more there is of something, the better it is. And this really applies to a lot of things, such as launching more campaign types, launching more shopping campaigns, search campaigns even. This is a very big myth, especially with Google Ads, that the more there is, the better. In fact, I would say the less there is, the better it is. That's why nowadays with so many clients, we're taking more of a simple approach. If there's 5 campaigns running within an ad account, we're trying to shut off 2 of them or 3 of them to only leave about 1 to 3 campaigns running at any given time. This is the most efficient way to do it, which we have learned after spending over now $10 million with the Google Ads. The more fancier you make it, you will also start to notice this, the more your results start to drop. Myth number 5 is demand cannot be created. And a lot of the clients I'm handling under my agency, they're creating demand, they're forcing demand to be created via Facebook, via TikTok, via YouTube, and also Pinterest. They're using these external ad platforms where it's more of a force-based platform, so that when they now start using Google Ads or Bing Ads, which are more search-based and where people actually need to come to you, this is where now people will start searching for your products on Google because they've already seen it on Facebook, and now they're searching for those keywords actively on Google, and this is where the demand capturing starts to begin. So demand absolutely can be created, and you create it using the right ad platforms. Myth number 6, and that is company search campaigns, also known as brand search campaigns, are useless. This is one of the biggest kind of debates I see going all over Twitter. I see so many e-commerce brands, even when we start working with them, they say, hey, cut out the brand search, it's useless, we were gonna get those sales anyways. That is a myth. Keep in mind, like brand search campaigns, there are also other search campaigns called competitor search campaigns, which your competitors might be launching. They can actually target your brand's keyword. So when somebody, for example, let's say you're running Amazon, you're Jeff Bezos, if somebody else types in the keyword Amazon, Now, instead of your brand coming up via your organic search listing at the top, your competitor actually comes up. And that's when there's a very good chance your users that might be shopping with you, they might actually go onto your competitor's website to shop. So that's a big risk that happens when you don't run brand search. But also with brand new ad accounts or just ad accounts that are struggling, branded search is one of the easiest ways to get data fast for your ad account. I mean, you're just getting that data of people purchasing, getting stored onto your ad account, which then you can now use for the algorithm, and the algorithm can now use that data to go and target more people like that via cold traffic campaigns like PMAX, standard shopping, cold search, etc. But this brings us to the final kind of myth that is one of the most widespread myths out there, and that is the more products you have, the easier it is to scale and the more scalable your brand even becomes. I've started to realize that this is one of the biggest flaws in my thinking, which I used to kind of listen to, because there's one brand which we're working with, which is actually generating $115,000 and more per month in revenue, selling only one single product. There's only one SKU in the entire brand. So really, it's not about the product that's the main kind of issue. It's more about the search volume, number one, and number two, your overall funnel. These are the 7 myths which you should absolutely not be listening to, and if you were listening to them, well, now you know not to listen to them. But I see a lot of these myths getting followed by brands I'm working with even now, which, by the way, if you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue, we need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.